two ninjas spoiling movies.
Yeah,
And Brandon Collins.
that's me.
It's just a brand for your movie needs. Medium popcorn.
Woo!
You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it.
Who's the master?
Well, that's your warning.
Uh.
And if you get pissed, it's all your fault. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh.
What's up, little biscuits and sun-dried tomatoes? It's your boy Eddie Munster Collins.
Okay, and this is Justin Brown, y'all.
I'm gonna in the festive spirit, Justin. Come on. You're supposed to yes and me. You did improv.
No. I am not yes-ending your ridiculousness. I will not do it. I refuse.
All right. Well, that's
Even
a
though I
good
yes-end
partner
all
you
things,
are.
but just not that.
All right. Well, we are so excited to have two amazing guests from the Tell Me Something Studios. Jacob and Bailey, how are y'all?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course.
Super excited.
Of course, we were so happy to connect. We bumped into y'all a few times at South by Southwest, your whole team and everything. And
Yes. Yeah.
we just enjoyed the conversation, talk about movies, particularly your horror stuff. And so,
Absolutely. Yeah.
it's perfect season for us to do that right now. Not sure about the movie though, because we are talking about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, which, for my money, might be one of the saddest low budget horror films we've done on this podcast. Like it just
no.
Like, saying it's sad.
it had a budget of $100,000, but like for me, I just felt like if I'm an actor on this set, I'm kind of like, oof, I don't know. Like if I saw the Winnie the Pooh costume for the first time, I might be like, what are we doing?
Yeah. What is this exactly?
The costume was really rough.
Yeah, because it felt like it's possibly just, I mean, obviously it's humans behind like the costumes and stuff, but it felt like one of the girls should have been like, are these just guys dressed up as these animals? Like, I wouldn't think that they're actually animals. Like, no one actually brought up like, hey, what's going on here?
Yeah, like they just kind of went with it. They were like, okay, well, this is a thing.
Well, it's funny. It's like when the rednecks towards the end, it's just like, well, the UK rednecks, it's like, that's no bear. What?
I had a question about that. Where's this supposed to take place? Because the accents were all over the place. Because, like you said, the UK rednecks, but I didn't think that they were supposed to be. They didn't have like a British twang. They had like the British actors being country kind of vibe. And then we had one girl that was like, I don't know. Was that just me?
You didn't catch the British accents all through this film?
Oh, I caught them from the actresses, and then one of them like sounded like more Irish or so. The accents were so cuckoo bananas, and I was like, "Wait, Winnie the Pooh's from America, right?" Like, I know Christopher Robin's like British, but am I wrong in that?
I think it's all in the UK.
Yeah, I think it is all in the UK.
Ah, okay. Full disclosure, I haven't watched Winnie the Pooh in a long, long time.
Same. Yeah.
I always thought there was something sinister about it, but this movie took that to a whole different level.
Nothing is sacred.
No. Yeah. We were looking it up earlier. We were just like, because we saw that there's a second one. Like if you go on Amazon, you can look and there is a second one. Yeah. And Pooh also just looks so much like he's got fur now, but like he looks more like a bear, I guess. But there is a third one. There is a third one.
Oh my God.
And Kanga and Roo are going to be in it because they come into the public domain.
Diabolical.
So, yeah.
By the way, this all is a catalyst because Christopher Robin, instead of just like taking his animal friends with him or like at least checking in on them every like in between semesters, he's just like, hey, I'm gonna go get an education. I'm going to college. Peace. And then the animals basically die. Like they basically get so they don't know how to survive without Christopher Robin apparently, and they start starving
their own.
Well, they eat Eeyore, which is wild.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Like that's when I knew we were off to the races. When they were like, yeah, they had to eat Eeyore because things were tough. I was like, what?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know. Like he didn't. So he knew them from like, when he was little to when he went to college. So like, and they don't like 100 Acre Wood. It's 100 acres. Like it's not that big.
Yeah.
So they didn't have any kind of socialization or nothing. They just turned straight into cannibalism. And
this is why you don't feed the wildlife.
Yeah.
But they've been killing people for a while.
when they're like he says it's just like they don't look like normal animals. They are something different. Like
It's just going along with it. He's like, this is fine. This is okay.
yeah, but I befriended them and they became my best friends and I hung out with them until I abandoned them.
And then I left.
And he was so serious. He was so serious with his fiance or his wife or yeah. He
Yeah,
was so
that's his
serious with her. He's
girlfriend.
like, oh my God,
Yeah.
they're real. They're real. I'm telling you, they're real. And like, if he kept that up this whole time, like nobody in his family was like, maybe we should check on what Christopher's doing in the woods after school. Like,
It's so insane, like how this all like the story's just cuckoo bananas. It doesn't like I don't think there was any logic really to it. It was like, hey, we're just gonna take these characters and make a horror film because you're right. Like no one, like people should have known what Christopher Robin was up to. He should have confided at least to one person. Like, hey,
Yes.
I like who's back at home. Like, hey, check in on my boy Pooh and like his friends, right? Like because that's insane. Like that he would just abandon them. And but it's also equally insane that they would be like, all right, we've been abandoned, we're starving, we got to eat one of our own. Now we just are bloodthirsty, and we're gonna kill everything that comes around us. Which, like you said, it's 100 acres. So in theory, there should be lore about this place, like where like animals are butchering people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's also just the fact is like if it's only 100 acres, that means civilization is very close. Therefore, they should be able to step out and forage for food. They'd be able to get
Yes.
something.
Honestly.
Trash cans exist in the UK as well, right?
Yes. Yes.
Well, it's also the biggest issue too is, and this is similar. Like, I don't give Barbarian such a hard time about this, right? But they're renting the girls that we meet. They rent a cabin on 100 acre wood, right?
Mhm.
And so that means there's some kind of Airbnb thing happening here. And so because of close proximity, now they're in the crosshairs of Pooh and his whole little gang of psychopaths. But that should be happening all the time with people renting this cabin, right? So in theory, the word should be out like, hey, don't rent this cabin. Don't go
Yeah,
to this
don't
area.
go there.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
people
in the
die.
opening credits, in the opening credits, they had like all the newspaper
Oh,
clippings
that, yep.
and like the audio recordings and stuff of like, oh yeah, there was another mutilated body once again. And you're like, and nobody's gonna do anything about it. We're just gonna let it happen.
Nobody's quarantining this area. It'd be like, hey, something's happening here. You shouldn't go here. They're just like, nope, $100 per day, please. Like, what?
Which you know what? If it's $100 a day, there's something wrong. That should have been the first indicator.
You're right.
Wait. Why is this? Oh no. Why is this a universe? Why is this a cinematic universe? This is a Poohverse.
It is.
They're
Yeah.
making Pinocchio movies. They're making
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Wait, what?
they have
I'm gonna go look it
Pinocchio,
up right
Bambi,
now.
Peter Pan. Oh sweet God.
Oh no.
We're in it for a world of hurt.
We
So y'all
already
gonna be
have,
coming
like-
back for a while.
I
Y'all
can't
gonna be
do
coming
this
back on the show
again.
for a while.
So wait, is this gonna be a whole horror universe?
Yeah, it's like they're doing like it's called the Poohverse, and it's going to be doing all these little Disney childhood horror genre remixes.
We're
And
gonna have
this
to
is-
watch all of these.
But imagine how bad it's going to get when this is their Iron Man. Remember how good Iron Man
Oh,
1 was?
God.
And we were like, oh man, we might be in for some good stuff. It's just going to oh, all right.
actually, so all right. You guys obviously don't know this, but I have this theory that a horror film is only good if you're killing some kids. Because it raises the level, it raises the bar up. And like, you know, now we're off to the races and people are invested because they're like, that person is a monster. They killed children. And now, you know, we're in for something, right? That being said, Peter Pan could be hellacious.
Oh, you're
Oh,
right.
actually,
Whoa.
yeah. Lost
Yeah.
Boys.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, there's a current controversial about that opinion, Justin, right now with Terrifier 3, which I will never see.
Okay.
But a film Twitter's having like a whole back and forth about because they do kill kids and apparently in a brutal fashion in Terrifier 3.
Hmm.
And so there's like this online discourse about like, hey, don't want to see that.
Well, but it's also how far are you going?
Oh, they're going far apparently from what I've
Well,
read.
exactly.
Descriptions.
I mean, but like, you know, we also watched It, where you know, the Georgie gets his arm ripped off, or no, his brother
Yeah.
gets his arm ripped off at the beginning, and we loved it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, you eat it up.
So
'Cause it's
like,
Like Pennywise
How
did for
worse
sure.
can it get?
Okay. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Why do we care about these young women that are in this house? That like the writer,
Yeah.
director, Rice, Frank Waterfield, like he clearly has some issues with women. Can we just be honest about that? Like the way that
He,
yeah, what were we gonna say? I'm sorry.
oh, I was just gonna talk about like there were all those characters weren't even established.
Nope.
Like
yeah.
Yeah,
they just showed up. They just showed up in one shot.
Mhm.
We're like, where did these guys come from?
Yeah, there was no indication that they were coming in, except for the one girl on the phone, the friend on the phone that was running late. And so I was expecting her, and then like 6 of them got out of the car. Ridiculous.
Yeah, and then one of them, like, you know, she was like, "Oh, I had this traumatic experience because she saw some eyes staring at her through a hole and stuff like that." And I'm just like, "What? Wait, what's going on?"
This is creepy. I thought that they were fully going with like this girl was gonna be Christopher Robin's like sister.
Yeah.
And she was gonna get revenge, and I was like, this is gonna be sick. And then it was not that.
That would have made more sense because we open with
Yes.
Christopher Robin coming back with his fiance. His fiance gets choked to death by Piglet, which
And then burned.
yeah,
Oh,
Piglet
yeah.
looked crazy. Like
Yeah.
that was unsettling.
He looked like an offshoot of I don't know which one is Bebop or Rocksteady, like you know, an animatronic version of that, but
Yes.
super dark, super dark.
Because there was some way that he like is feral, right? Like a boar, and so that's why he looks all crazy like that. But
Yeah.
just the mask and it just looked crazy. And then Peter, you know, Christopher Robin gets dragged away, and we later find out he's being tortured by Winnie the Pooh, who's literally just like showering him in human blood and
That was
sitting
crazy.
Okay,
That was
it's-
sitting
crazy.
in the
bloody
whip.
skeletons around him.
Eeyore's tail as a whip, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay,
Disgusting.
that scene bugged me out because Christopher Robin's like screams felt more like sexual groans, and I was like, you know what? Because you know, there's certain things about the Winnie the Pooh Christopher Robin relationship, like all those things that were always kind of like creepy to me as a kid. Because I was always like, why doesn't Winnie the Pooh wear pants? Like, there's always like weird things like that that would come to mind. And so, you know, when he was whipping Christopher Robin, I didn't like it, and I wouldn't be surprised if the director was like, yeah, there's some sexual and you know things I was you know
No,
thinking about in
ban.
that scene. It was weird.
Man.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. And then also, how much it would have been better if she was Christopher Robin's sister, because at least there's like some kind of like, hey, I'm looking for my brother. Like,
Yes.
there's some actual
Yeah.
kind of sense of urgency and reason why they're there.
Yeah.
Because it didn't make any sense the way that the animals were kind of coming after this group of women. Like, you know, they were like, what'd you say, Justin?
Felt personal.
It did.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it totally did.
Well, when Pooh rips off the first victim, her shirt, and like I was just like, okay, why is she
We
new?
didn't need that.
And then he
Yeah.
just
We didn't
bangs her
need
against
that.
the wood chipper and then throws her in. I was just like, what's going on? Like, why are you? These are like unnecessarily brutal deaths.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also with that character too, she also showed up, and I like the pacing is a little weird because like that character
yeah.
showed up because she was trying to find her friend, and then I thought it was gonna like, you know, cut away to something else and then come back to her, but it immediately went. They introduce her and then she dies, and that was just yeah. But like yeah, crazy brutal kills. Like with
They
the
weren't even-
car as well, like
Yeah,
smashing her head.
Oh
Oh
my gosh. Yeah.
Well, that was just like these are some sadistic motherfuckers, and so with that, you're like, the world would be like there would be some kind of haunting stories about this place. Like, yes, the news clippings and stuff like that, but like, it would be quarantined off until they could find out what's happening there. And also, it wouldn't be too hard to track down this gang of killer animals because they're just out here hanging out. Like the one girl's on the
Yes.
phone, she turns, and then the fucking it's not Pooh, but I think Piglet maybe. It's just like charging towards her, and she's like, ah. I'm like,
Yeah, what the hell?
like, they're just
also
out
they
in
have-
daylight.
They have like an abundance of Airstream trailers, which was really random for me. I was
Yeah.
like, where did they get these at?
yeah,
Like-
and the glass jars of honey.
Yes, I'm like, where?
Okay,
like,
that was disgusting.
Oh,
Yeah,
why
dude,
is he slick?
Why
all
is
the
he?
time?
Yeah, he's sticky and
Oh,
like, why is he dripping? Why is Pooh
no.
dripping all the time? Like, it's not.
Did you guys clock the team of fucking CGI bees that are following him at all
But
times?
I loved it. That was the best part.
Yeah, he just like commands the bees.
That was the best part
So
of the whole
cool.
show.
That's definitely going to be a kill in the second one if it's not, or like or at least for the third one. Like, there's no way that he's not going to kill someone using bees.
Well,
but
he's sick.
He did.
He's on some, on some, I don't remember which character it was, but he did sick him
The
on
hit guy, the UK hit,
oh,
the guy ran away, and all the
Yes.
bees are surrounded.
I love
you know,
it.
this movie was made in 2023. You know, and like probably filmed in 2020. Yeah, 2022 to 2023, right? It was filmed in 10 days. And it's very obvious from my point of view as a huge Halloween fan that there was just like, it's just the guy wanted to do Halloween, but with Winnie the Pooh. Because there's so many like directly pulled things from the Halloween movies, like such as like the group of Hicks that, you know, the Mike Myers, that's Winnie the Pooh takes out. And then also like the ink, like, you know, just the way that he killed him was very Halloween Kills, right? And you know, stabbing the girl, what this in this case through the mouth to put her to impale her on the tree, but which was that knife was ridiculously long, and that's why I was just like, okay, this director really has some fucked up issues. Like he needs to have a woman like around him to be like to give him like some type of consultant and be like, hey, because you're not doing this to the man character.
He just let him go wild.
The only male character lives.
Yes, which is
right.
Where's our final girl? He killed our final girl.
It's so fucking crazy what this guy did. Like even if that's not his intent, if that wasn't his intent to get out anger or whatever, like I think that the writer director really needs to sit down and like maybe go through therapy or something like that. Like I don't tend to be this personal when it comes like to, you know, criticizing art and stuff like that. But like I was really, really like upset by how brutal these deaths were, and they were just so unnecessary. Like you're torturing. It was like an Eli Roth movie, but without like trying to say anything. At least Eli Roth movies sometimes try to talk about like, you know, gluttonous, like the gluttonous nature of rich people and things like that. But this one, like when the girl got her head ran over and you know, they're just pinning her down and she's in her bikini the whole time before that, she's just bouncing around and like recording herself. I'm like, what are y'all trying to say with this besides just
also with that character, which was bothering me, is like, so they rented this house, right? They rented this house, and then the first time we see her, she has all of these like pink lights around her and things like that, like she's shooting something.
Yeah,
you know,
we know what she's doing.
I'm just like, what? Well, yes, you're right. You know. she's taking care of her fans. She's taking care of her fans, only her fans. But like she has all this like, you know, mood lighting and things like that. I'm just like, and it's only for her. It's only for her. I'm like, guys, like, could we have made this just a little less OnlyFansy and just like can't she just be like, oh, a pretty girl who's a little bit into herself?
That's okay. We love those girls.
Yes. Some we do, some we don't.
Some we do, some we don't.
But like it I don't know. It almost seemed like they were kind of like, well, she has to die. She has to die brutally, and we're gonna make it this because like she's a cam girl or something like that. I don't know. It was just a really weird thing, like the way they shot that character and only that character, and just like what they made of her.
I will say that there was a payoff with her constantly taking the selfies when she looked at one of the selfies, and then I think it was Pooh in the background. I laughed so hard because that's some shit you don't expect to see. But like we talked about earlier, no one really freaked out accordingly. Like if you're legit supposed to believe that that's a big bear in a flannel shirt and overalls, then you should be freaking the fuck out. You know what I mean? Like
you shouldn't have had no pants on. I'm just saying.
Just the shirt.
Just the shirt, just walking around, cock out. Entire.
Not even rocking a 5X, just 2X max.
That crop.
That was wild.
Oh my god!
Why did they in blood write "Get Out" on the door for the people, for the last remaining girls? Like that made no sense. I'm like, y'all still trying to kill them? Like, what's the point of writing "Get Out"?
Oh yeah, they wrote it backwards from the outside.
Yeah, I'm like,
I don't know. Like they didn't own that place. Like that wasn't like if they did, why don't they live there with a refrigerator and
with a full kitchen?
yeah,
you know what? That actually that's kind of crazy because they could have lived in that house.
Well, and like in like the cartoons and the books and stuff, Rabbit like has a garden, and they're self-sufficient. So I'm like,
that's true.
where is Rabbit and where is Owl? Was what I want to know.
Hmm.
Did they eat them too, and they just decided not to tell us, or did they run away? But like, they don't know how to forage. What did they do before Christopher Robin like came around?
So, according to trivia that our producer Lluvia found, Owl and Rabbit can be seen on the top right when Pooh and Piglet are dragging Christopher Robin. So maybe they just didn't have the budget to make especially Owl work, but that might be what happens in the sequel. You know, because we also didn't get Tigger in this either, which is probably for the best. Because seeing a fucking tiger bouncing on his tail and beating the fucking
terrifying,
killing people would have been too much for me. I think my mind would have exploded.
He would probably be like I think one of the kills Piglet like it was that lady who they ran into in the convenience store and she had a gun. And it was like she had already been at the camp or whatever. And then Pooh I think was holding her down or something and Piglet like ate her straight up.
Yeah.
Like,
that was
so Tigger he you know he's a tiger. It probably would have even been even more brutal than that, I feel like.
Well, I mean, he would have definitely just ate Winnie the Pooh like everybody else immediately.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Maybe they banished him because he's like way too bloodthirsty.
Well, they couldn't use him because of copyright purposes, which is crazy.
That's the only one that was copyrighted, not Winnie the Pooh.
There's like something with like a IP and stuff like that where you can kind of have fun. Like, you know, there's a lot of like IP that's becoming public domain.
Yeah.
Now, and so I guess possibly this fits into that.
Well, you know what? It could be one of those things where the character Tigger was actually created later on, so maybe it hasn't run out yet, so it doesn't hit.
The 1926 Winnie the Pooh book entered the public domain in January 2002, and that's why this was announced immediately after that.
Okay, yeah. So Tigger's character hasn't hit a public domain, so that's probably definitely it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because it's like 70 years or something, right?
Something but just why this, man? I mean, it made $7 million on $100,000 budget. I mean, these movies, these small budget horror films are like they're making a resurgence. They're definitely coming back. Our producer Lluvia wanted us to ask you two, why did you choose Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey over the other horror films that she offered?
So I was the one who chose it. It was an interesting concept to me. I don't know. I just thought like I was like, what are they gonna do with this? Like what am I gonna watch right now? Because I know what I'm to expect with The Exorcist, and I think there were a couple of other films I knew what to expect or we had already seen, and so, but I knew that we both had never seen.
The short answer is we want it to be different.
Yeah.
Fair.
I don't know if it was worth it though.
I don't think it was worth it.
Well, we were eventually probably going to watch this anyway. You know, like I think we've been watching started watching some of these horror films that are based on IP. Like last year, we watched the Mean One, the Grinch Christmas horror film that's like by the team that did like the Terrifier movies. That one at least is kind of funny. Like there's some wild stuff that like there's an old man that gets like I've never seen an old man get beat that bad on film before, like brutalized, and it's by the Grinch. Like it was crazy. Whereas this movie didn't even have anything fun to really grasp onto. Like I just was miserable the whole 82 minutes of this.
Yep.
And I felt like after we finished it, I felt like we've been watching it for like 3 hours.
Oh god.
Yes. Yeah.
It did not feel like 82 minutes at all.
It was a rough watch.
Yeah. This was like reading War and Peace 4 times in a row. back to back.
Yes.
Every scene. It's like, oh God, it's another one.
Yeah. And they just kept they just kept making the characters do really stupid things. And, you know, the one girl that gets her face mauled eventually by a piglet, she has a gun. She has a really big gun.
Yeah,
And,
she takes it from the main character.
and nothing happens with that gun. Like they don't.
That's no bullets.
Yeah,
Well,
she
I mean,
fired it once, and that was it.
Yeah. And she,
Didn't even make it count.
no.
Well,
Mind
here's
you-
the fun thing about it. I mean, not about that. I think the death that bothered me most was the girl in the pool. And
Oh,
Oh,
so
with the hand.
Piglet
with the
gets
sledgehammer, that was so crazy.
yes.
she gets into the pool and he's swinging the fucking chain at her. I'm just like, bitch, just go to the other side of the pool and get it.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do. But then he grabs the sledgehammer and he walks into the pool. So obviously, these guys are towering because she's swimming. He's just walking
Yes.
across the water like he's Piglet Jesus. Then, instead of diving under the water for a bit, swimming to the other side, getting to the side and getting out, she just wades in the water and looks back at him, wades in the water and looks back at him, and it's bothering. I'm just like, get the fuck out of the pool. Now, so my wife's name is Paula. We were watching this film together. Brandon knows Paula does not like horror films. She can't deal with them. She was with me on this one because she was like, this isn't even scary. This is just ridiculous.
Yes.
We're yelling at the screen. We're yelling at the screen like this is a black movie theater in the hood. And then it cuts to the scene where she's just waiting on top of the water and he just hits her across the face with a sledgehammer and then starts pounding the water. And I'm just like, why didn't she just get out? That's
It
all
would have been so simple. It would have taken her less time to pull herself out of the pool and run away. She could have gotten her friend and they could have left.
Yes. And
Yeah, 'cause he was in the middle of the pool. It would have taken him longer to get out than for her to get out.
Yeah, he had heavy clothes on. Like,
Yeah.
He's waiting. Right? Come on.
And hold on.
there is no fight or flight.
No.
There's no fight or flight. You're in a slasher movie with animals. Animals trying to brutally kill you. You need to get the fuck out of Dodge or at least fight like hell to survive. There is none of that. But
you know what? And to go back to the OnlyFans girl, when she was sitting there in her in the jacuzzi, right? And she thinks she sees something in the back, right? She gets out, she does a hello, is anybody there? And then she's just like, guess not. I'm a little bit creeped out, but let me go and take a nap in this jacuzzi. I'm like, what? Why would you relax and then close your eyes, put your head back? That is prime time for you to get your throat slashed. Like, come on.
At that point, it's a little deserved.
Yes.
And like the one little like porch light that she like flips on, ridiculous.
Oh yeah. What's with all the main effect, the main lighting effect is the flickering light.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was in, like so many scenes. And also there were scenes where it didn't make sense. Like the light, it was daylight outside, so the sun was streaming in, but the light was still flickering, but from the outside. So like the sun was flickering. Like it just what?
Flickering lights, shaky cam. It was a one.
Shaky cam was rough.
Very redundant.
It was very dark. This movie was very dark.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what they shot this on, or like they're like, hey.
Are you surprised, Justin?
No, but like
I would make it so dark so you couldn't see how bad those costumes were. Pooh's hands were so crazy. Like when they showed the blood running down him after he's getting beat up and mollywopped and stuff. I was just like, what is that, a porcelain hand? What is this?
Yeah, it was nuts.
Lluvia in the chat's asking, were the kills cool for people who are horror gore fans? No, because they weren't original. That's why I cited Halloween. Everything that they did has either been done in a Halloween movie or, like, in a weird way, fucking Fargo with the wood chipper. Like, everyone always does the wood chipper thing, like that's shock value. And I'm like, Fargo did it like in a great way. Like, you're never going to top the Coen brothers doing a wood chipper kill scene.
Yeah, and Tucker and Dale versus Evil 2, seen it. It's it already happened. So like, there was nothing new for it, and even the gore wasn't that great. Gore is not really my favorite. Yeah, but I can appreciate it. Terrifier, I think, is like a good representation of gore, but this was not it.
So I think, guys, that we're forgetting one of the best scenes of incapacitating someone, and that's when Pooh got the girl in blue all tied up, right? And then he just repeatedly just slaps her.
That
Slapping
was so
her.
crazy.
I was
What
just
was
like,
that about?
what?
He slaps the one guy's hand off, one of the rednecks.
Oh yeah, when he gets like really mad and he just
Oh, that's what he did? I thought he
That's
sliced
so
it off.
scary.
No,
He slapped it.
So
I guess
they
he
posit
used
that
his
he's
paws.
so
Oh,
so
yes.
they posit that he's so strong that he was ripping that girl's head off, chopping hands off. Oh
with
my
his bare
god.
Yeah, just
Yep,
like
Hong Kong fucking Phooey.
yeah,
Yeah.
honestly.
Hong Kong Phooey.
Oh, and they have a vow of silence ever since Christopher Robin left. Mind you, he went to college and became a doctor, right? So that's a total of what? 8 years away?
No, it's
He's a
just 5
doctor?
years. It was just 5 years.
It was just 5 years. They went
Christopher
that
Robin
crazy in
left.
5 years.
Christopher Robin left, and it's a 5-year jump.
Wow.
wow. So is he allowed to be a doctor if he says he has like real imaginary
Imaginary.
friends?
Well, that's what
I don't know.
that's what the issue is with this whole movie. You have to, and this is where it feels like lazy writing. You have to establish a world where, yes, these characters exist, right? It can no longer be a fantastical like Christopher Robin. Everyone thinks he's kind of crazy, or he's ashamed to talk about his imaginary friends that may or may not be real. Like you have to posit, like, no, these are real friends. They're just like they're afraid of the real world. They're afraid of humans, but they got to know me, right?
Mhm.
But then with that comes, if I'm leaving, I need to make sure that they're okay. So I need to make sure someone checks in on them. Now, it could have been a cool thing if, let's say, he told his brother, right? But his brother's a psychopath, and so his brother actually tortured the animals, which turned them against humans. That creates the whole revenge bloodlust thing, right? Like
Yeah.
they like they legit like they killed the brother, and they're maybe like, oh, we kind of like human flesh or blood or whatever, right? Then you have this that makes more sense than whatever lazy thing they were just like, oh, he left for college and now they're mad. Like,
Yeah.
come on. Like, it's just a little bit more like exploration of what these characters are supposed to be and how to ground them in a world where we're supposed to posit that they are legit creatures wearing human clothes, by the way.
Yeah, where'd he get the shirt? Where'd he get the overalls? That
How
fit,
did they learn to drive?
fit his current
How
did
did they learn to
drive?
That's such a great question.
I seriously was like, what's happening? What is this?
We didn't even talk about that. Holy shit.
Man.
How did Pooh learn? Because if Pooh could drive, they could have gotten the fuck out of Dodge a long time ago.
Yeah, go to the grocery
Yo, go
store.
to
Go on
Taco
to the
Bell.
farmer's
What are you doing?
market. Yes. Ridiculous.
You know what? Also, the crazy thing is, the animation opening didn't go into detail. Were they trapped in like the treehouse or whatever? Like, why couldn't they go out and get food?
I don't think that there really was like a reason as to why they couldn't. I just don't think that they did.
No, so they said that there was a particularly harsh winter. And
Okay.
Okay, yes, I do remember that.
it was a particularly harsh winter. So then they found themselves just like becoming emaciated, and then that's when they ate Eeyore.
But they should, in theory, should always be prepared for winter because of hibernation, right?
And they're
yeah, you're right.
they're also animals, so they should also be like, oh, winter's coming. It's time for me to get the things
Because what's Chris?
I can fucking survive.
Yeah, because it's not like Christopher Robin bites into his house when it gets real cold outside. It's like they should already know how to survive in harsh winters.
Yes.
Also, doesn't college, or in this case, university for our UK friends, doesn't that start in like August?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they would have all that time to prepare.
Yeah.
So they had all this time. They were just like, fuck it. Christopher Robin's gonna take care of us.
Yeah, it'll be
Right.
fine. Sorry, Eeyore, you gotta go, bud.
Well, that's when it gets crazy. That's when it's like, okay, I again, like maybe I'm trying to like I'm overthinking this, and I possibly am because it's a stupid movie. But I just feel like if they legit exist, there could have been some arrangements for them to like be around Christopher. There's so many contingencies they could have done to make sure that these animals didn't go insane and have to eat one of their own. You know what I mean? That's such an extreme step to take. Like, hey, we've been growing up for years together. You know, we helped raise this kid, and things are so bad within like this, harsh winter. We got to eat Eeyore. because he ain't bringing nothing to the table. Like that's terrible.
One of us has to survive for when Christopher Robin comes back. And it's not going to be you, Eeyore. Nom, 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 nom.
Sorry, bud.
Literally, like you were just saying, like it. What did they do every single other winter that they've been through their entire lives? When Christopher Robin was maybe visiting family and wasn't there for like 2 weeks, what are they doing?
Yeah. I mean, Christopher Robin should have stopped by. That's insane that he just would cold turkey not see his friends that he would see like every week.
Yeah, especially if he knew that they were that dependent.
Yeah,
like, if they were that dependent.
Home on holiday, as they do in the UK.
Yeah, on holiday.
Like, why didn't you pop in? Like, what's going on, bro?
Yeah, call a wellness check, something.
Yeah, send a care package, cookies. Damn it, something.
Yeah, come on.
Can we also talk about? Okay, what was the point of having the backstory for Maria with the therapist and the trauma? Because none of that paid off, and then they just brutally murdered her at the end.
Yeah,
like slit her throat, and then we literally end the movie with like sounds of Winnie the Pooh just stabbing her, or like stabbing her corpse.
I think that they wanted 2 different movies and just put them together, and it just didn't. They didn't try to buff anything out. They just left it. What
do you think the movies were that they merged together were?
Oh, I think that they tried to do, like you were talking, like the Halloween, but make it Winnie the Pooh. But then you have this like other storyline with all of the girls. I love a final girl. So like, why not they ruined that.
Yeah. Especially if we're making a Poohverse, you got to have like a central character. It can't be Christopher Robin, because no offense to that actor, but they didn't do a great job. And so like at least but I mean, the Maria character was just so poorly written. It's like, I have mental issues because I once saw this person staring at me. And it's like, well, we got to go a little bit deeper than that. That's not a stalker. That's just you maybe being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Like, when I had an old apartment in Astoria, Queens, where our landlord's family lived in the building. And this is not the building you're thinking about, Justin. This is before I got that one. And there's a hole in the bathroom that was covered like by wood planks. And one night, my girlfriend at the time, she was taking a shower and she came out and she saw an eye looking up at her, because the downstairs was like the boiler and stuff like that. And I guess my landlord was like, dude, he looked up through the hole, and I just remember being like, but she wasn't like, I need to go to therapy. Like, I'm traumatized. You're just like, that's really creepy.
The guy did end up breaking into her house.
Oh, that's right.
And was like standing over her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
So like that kind of adds to
I forgot about it too.
But still.
Yeah, I mean, also, none of her friends. First of all, that one friend who's, got her fans. She is not a friend is Maria.
Maria,
yeah. She is not a friend to Maria. I don't know why she's there. Like, also, none of the other friends are good friends either.
No,
like they're just. This is a vacation for Maria, and none of them are there for her, like, at all.
Yep. Was it a vacation though? It didn't feel like there's going to be any fun had with this group or at this cabin.
No,
like,
definitely not.
There was not, like, they had a jacuzzi and what else? Like, this is insane.
Well, I mean, they get there at, let's say, 7:00, and the killing starts at 7:05.
Honestly,
it does start really quickly.
They don't even warm it up.
No.
Yeah, there's no unpacking stage.
No.
They're not sitting around at the fire. The killing starts happening real fast. So
they don't wait around for anything.
We don't know what kind of party they were trying to plan, but they did not get even a shot at kicking it off.
But what provokes Pooh and the gang to come after them? They already have plenty of food because they're surrounded by corpses that they keep putting in front of Christopher Robin. So it's not like they're starving. The girls don't do anything to trespass on their property or to agitate them. That's what like was frustrating for me. It's like, it's one thing to do a slasher film, but you got to do something that provokes like a spirit or the killer or something. Like, you can't just, they just popped up, like, because otherwise, again, if that's happening, then this entire area would be quarantined, or they would have killed Pooh and this whole gang years ago.
Yeah. Unless
they're positing that they're invincible. Because the piglet get killed with the sledgehammer?
Yeah.
Is he actually dead?
I don't think he is dead because we didn't get like any blood or anything from him. We just one whack. And also, if they're so like Pooh and Piglet are strong. They're so strong. How did she get string Piglet
Oh
up,
my god, yeah.
drag his body and string it up
Oh yeah.
and like get to torturing him or whatever?
Yeah.
How did she do that?
Because she was like this big.
Yeah,
And
like
she's
Yeah.
like dragging
like-
this giant boar around.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the main issue we had with Urban Legend, where we were like, how did Rebecca Gayheart drag Joshua Jackson's tall ass on top of a car and then string him up in a? Have y'all seen Urban Legend?
No, we haven't.
Oh, well, it's not a spoiler. It came out in
It's spoiler,
1997.
yeah.
But yeah, like
Didn't miss much.
they just like posited this really skinny woman like was able to like get the jump on like a really tall dude and then string him up on a rope above a car. Like it's just so insane within like 2 minutes.
No, there's no way.
Yeah. Oh, it would have been like this is the problem with not having a dialogue either or having any sense of humor is that there's a really funny thing because Piglet's mad small, right? In the story.
Mhm.
Like and it'd be hilarious that they're like, oh, he got that big because he kept getting bullied or whatever. Like there's just something so funny with how ridiculously strong and big Piglet was to like, I was just like, that's a missed opportunity. Why not talk about that?
Well, and the first time we see Piglet, he's coming up from behind a woman with a chain, strangling her.
True.
Oh yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Like, straight up, like he's like, yeah, bro. It was
Well, Christopher Robin
part like was really just throwing me off because like I guess the Piglet that we know and love from the actual Winnie the Pooh is just so different from what we're seeing here.
He's
and
timid and like so sweet.
Yeah. It's and I to your point, Brandon, I think the fact that they're not talking because they swore off all of their humanity, like these animals were human anyways. So they've decided we're never gonna speak that human talk ever again. Like that really hurt this film so much.
Mm-hmm.
Because it would have made it so much more interesting because when they see Christopher Robin, I'm pretty sure they had some things to say to him.
Yeah.
And we were robbed. We should have known. They should have laid it all out there.
Also, like, why did they leave him alive for that long? As they're killing all of these people, Christopher Robin, they just have him hanging there. It's just like, is it like, okay, we're gonna let you starve like we starve through the winter? Like what is it? Like, why would they keep him alive? Like,
yeah, that was weird.
And if they were so pissed off at him, they wanted so much revenge against Christopher Robin, why wouldn't they just murder him brutally on sight? It would be on sight.
Well, but also like I think that's why they kept him alive because they wanted to like, Pooh, I guess just Pooh really. Piglet probably didn't care, but Pooh, like, he probably wanted to keep him alive and just like torture him, I guess, because he wanted to make him feel some semblance of pain the way that they felt pain over the last 5 years or so. I don't know. But like, what was I gonna say? I don't know, maybe that's it. Like it's just crazy. When Christopher Robin, like when they get to the camp and then Piglet's like kills his wife and he's like, Piglet, stop, no, Piglet, don't. Piglet doesn't recognize that somebody's calling his own name, the only human who's ever known his name.
Yeah.
And he's like, he doesn't recognize also that that's Christopher Robin. Like, come on. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't buy it.
It would stop him in his tracks.
Yes.
It would stop him in his tracks. He'd be like, wait a second, that Christopher Robin? Motherfucker. And then it was like, right after him.
Yeah, the whole beginning is crazy because Christopher Robin doesn't peep all like the bloodstained things around his old childhood like play area with the Winnie the Pooh and stuff. And his fiance's like, Chris, we should go. He's like, no, I swear my friends are real. And like,
I don't want them to be.
then she gets choked with a chain. And I was like, yo, like, your friends have changed if they're killing people with like chains and sledgehammers. Like, that's some.
When you left Winnie the Pooh and then you show up and Quentin Rampage Jackson is out there, you know you're in some trouble.
Yeah, man. Like, yo, we learned a few things about the blue collar lifestyle. We're gonna fuck you guys up. Yeah, because there wasn't even any law enforcement. Like, instead of doing like the UK country dudes, there should have been like cops. Somebody should have been around. Like, it was just so insane. And folks, I know you're like, man, they're just talking about the things they don't like about it, like, but not enough about the plot. There was no plot, really. We told y'all what happened. And it was just murder. It really was just murder.
Yeah.
There were so many characters. Let's see, there were five girls. Well, actually 7 girls, counting the wife, the lady in the shop.
Yeah, true.
Lady in the shop.
The four men, and then Christopher Robin. There's 12 deaths. Oh no, 11 deaths.
Yeah, there's mad carnage in this movie.
Ridiculous.
So it's almost 82 minutes, 11 deaths. That's like almost 1 every 10 minutes at least. Something like that. I'm not a math person, but that sounds right.
I'm not a mathematician. So our producer Lluvia really encouraged us to read some IMDb reviews that are very positive about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. We'll read these before we get to our Patriot thoughts and then break down our rate system so we all can rate this movie. But the first one's from Christian Mark Harrington. That's a full government right there. Mm-hmm. And they wrote, Winnie saved my life, for real. A week before this film, I was given the news that I was suffering from extreme chronic constipation. Wait,
I'm
what?
so sorry.
Wait, okay. A week before this film, I was given news that I was suffering from extreme chronic constipation. I knew something was wrong with me before, but the news hit me like a rock to the groin. I tried pulling, pushing, exfoliating. I even went to a chiropractor. As a final resort, I messaged an old homeschool family of mine to see if they had any essential oils that could resolve the issue. To my dismay, none of these worked. I'm pretty sure the oils made it worse. Sad and alone, I gained 15 pounds before I had watched this movie.
Oh my God.
Okay, there's 3 more paragraphs. Friends of mine who knew but couldn't understand what I was going through asked if I wanted to join them for Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I watched the trailer, which was quite horrifying for what I saw. I was unsure if I should join my friends. I learned shortly after that it was a B movie, and so I consented. I'm so glad that I did. As I munched on my popcorn and drank my Coke Zero sugar, wondering how I was going to get out of this later, I felt the hairs on my neck stand up. I refocused on the movie to see the horrifying images on the screen. And for the first time in 3 weeks, I crapped. It wasn't like a small crap or even a normal crap, but like the crap guy that sits on the crap throne kind of crap. When I finally realized what had happened, I noticed that it wasn't even the gore, even the faces of deformed animals. It was, in fact, the faces of British women. Knowing that the smell was going to be pungent, I went home early and for the sake of my friends who sat next to me. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to finish the movie, but it deserves a rewatch from me. Not out of enjoyment necessarily, although there is that, but out of respect. For Winnie the Pooh saved my life. So I don't know if this is real. If it is, holy shit.
That's got to be a shit post.
But if this is true, that's even great. Like, there's so many things I'm concerned about with. And 10 out of 10, by the way.
So hold on.
I mean,
person
prevented sepsis. So
this person came on Beyonce's internet and told us that they shit themselves in the movie theater. They shit themselves in the movie theater while watching this film. What?
That's brave.
Because of the British women.
Because of the British women. First of all, I think that this person also doesn't like women.
Exactly.
Yep.
This is the director. This is an alias for the director.
If you haven't shit yourself in a while, look at the British women. That's what that's what we're getting from this. Wow, this is
so insane. We got one more glowing review from Porker Perry, who wrote "Relatable." Winnie the Pooh was already relatable as is. Fat, slow, craving food, depressed, and only wearing a shirt is basically my autobiography. However, this absolutely cinematic experience may very well be the most relatable piece of content ever produced. Now that I'm approaching my 50s, I feel lost in life. After my 77th rewatch of Mighty Ducks 1992, this feeling has only grown exponentially more. When I arrived to my cinema last night, I felt myself ready to go to Belize. But after viewing the film, my life has turned around. Now I'm inspired to continue the legacy of Pooh, for he is the one who will save us all. Pooh is love, Pooh is life. These people are out of their minds.
No, that's definitely a shit post because that's
but this
Shrek is love, Shrek is life. Like that's
but this movie is broken people. This is insane. To even take the time to write something like this is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, did you say his name is?
But these are just like
Porker Perry.
Oh no,
that's an pork. That's an inside
Perry.
job. That's an inside job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's wild. We did get some Patriot thoughts. Some folks remember we signed up Patreon at patreon.com/mediumpopcorn. You're guaranteed to have your thoughts and reviews of films we talk about read on that episode. So Jeffrey McKinney wrote, I love weird movies, and this is one of the weirdest I've ever seen. I enjoyed it and looking forward to the sequel. Jeffrey, you're out of your goddamn mind. And then Kendall Scarberry wrote, this is a real movie? Always thought it was just some silly internet joke.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's real.
Yeah.
It's very real.
There's 3 of them.
And there's 3 of them.
There's a whole Pooh-verse. We have to remind ourselves.
I need that.
All right. Justin, break down our rating system, baby.
Stop calling me baby. Guys, so you know how we do this. We rate movies bags of popcorn, small, medium, large, and the XL for the exceptional. If a film doesn't deserve any popcorn, we throw it into the stale popcorn pile. We pile piles and piles of stale popcorn on top of it. So we sat down, unfortunately, and we watched the slasher film Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, a 2023 British independent film because no studio would ever back this. What say you guys? Because I'm not going to go down the list of who's starring in this film because they shall never work again.
We don't need to
know. So the team, tell me something. What do you think?
Hey, so originally we were both like, oh, this is stale. There's like, but the fact they still got it made. They still get it. They had an idea and they followed through with it and they got it made. And there's 2 more, one's already, I think the second one's already out. The 3rd one's on its way. Yep. So I would say just because of that, they get a small popcorn. They accomplished the goal that they wanted.
My justification is different. I think that it's a small popcorn simply because he made me very uncomfortable.
Okay.
Who made me very uncomfortable? The we didn't bring this up. The twitching of the ears and like his mouth in some of the shots was so unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
The dripping is the worst, I think. I don't know.
I think
the honey dripping was so gross.
Just because it made me uncomfortable, I think that it deserves a small popcorn.
Yeah, the dripping was very like maybe early 90s R&B video kind of drip,
Yes.
It was just like, wait.
And not in the good way.
You're sexy. I don't know.
It's funny you say that because this was made by Jagged Edge Productions. So
I know.
That would have been hilarious. That would have made it so much better if like instead of the like UK country dudes, it was Jagged Edge. And they just start singing like
I just want to get married, baby. Let's get married.
Because it's already bad. Why not go fucking full crazy? Like who cares? Yeah, this was 84 minutes. This gets 84 piles of stale popcorn. This is one of the it's already rated as one of the worst films of all time. Like, and I can see that. It just for me, worst films of all time, they also have some entertainment value. There's something that you can look at and be like, but it was it's so bad it's good. This is just so bad that I was miserable. The only thing that has me looking forward to the Poohverse is getting to have y'all back on to talk about more of these so we can all suffer together. But yeah, this is
you did this.
This is so bad.
It's not too late. We can pick different franchises.
No. We are invested. We have certain guests that come on, and then we're like, hey, I guess we're in this together now. There's a bunch of sequels. We gotta review them.
You ruined this for us.
You joined us. You joined the Medium Popcorn family. And now we have to dig into the Poohverse now.
Maybe they'll get better. Maybe they'll surprise us. Maybe they'll
Apparently Winnie the Pooh 2 is better from what I saw on the Wikipedia page and reviews. It is they all said it's a step up. So we'll see what that means.
Okay.
Justin, what's your rating?
Not saying much coming from where we're at right now.
What's your
So this movie had a budget of $100,000. It made $7.7 million, which is, I guess, for them, congratulations. That's freaking awesome. But I'm gonna give them excuse me, I'm gonna give them a pile of stale popcorn for every dollar that they spent on this. So 100,000 piles of stale popcorn. This was atrocious. It looked terrible. The script was terrible, if there was a script. The kills were mid. And and this was cookie cutter. The only thing that was interesting about this was the fact that they attached Winnie the Pooh to it, but they didn't even borrow some fun things from Winnie the Pooh to actually make this kind of fun or enjoyable for the audience. So 100,000 piles of stale popcorn.
Yeah, it wasn't even like they couldn't do the fun Winnie the Pooh voice. Like they have him at the end. He just says, "You left" or whatever. But imagine having like a really creepy, like, "I just wanted some honey and Christopher Robin left me," and then he bashes people's skulls, and that would be amazing.
Yes.
It would have been so campy. Yeah.
Just once, I wanted Winnie the Pooh to look up and say, "Christopher Robin." That's it. That's all I wanted.
Just one time.
Kind of like he's talking, but for some reason, every time he says Christopher Robin, it sounds like he's about to cry. Like that's what I wanted. Yeah. And actually, that would have lent to this film pretty well because of like all the things that happened. Like when you first see him, he should have looked at this and said, "Christopher Robin." That'd have been it. I'd be like, okay, at least they gave me that.
It would have been cool. It would have been cool though, like if you took that and then like it turned into, Pooh, sees Christopher Robin and they make up and then he has to stop Piglet and the rest of the gang from killing all these people. That would have been
that's something there.
Yes.
I don't know.
It's something.
I mean, once
that's the thing. It's just something.
Once you started ripping the flesh off of human beings, I think you're kind of like you're lost forever. But
there's minimal redemption.
Yeah, he did try though at the end when he's like, Winnie, Pooh, you can do better than this, and Pooh's just like slit. He just slit that girl's throat.
Didn't even care.
Longest death scene ever, by the way. Yes. She dies in his arms, and it's just like, okay, like you need to get out of here, bro.
Like gurgle, 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 run. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet God. Jacob and Bailey, thank you so much for joining us. Please tell the listeners how they can follow you and anything that you'd like to promote or share with them.
Take it away.
Yeah, so you can follow us on Instagram at Tell Me Something Studios. We're working on a couple different audio dramas. So we've got the one that's in production right now is The Lost City. And so you can follow that at Lost City Pod. Mm-hmm. And then the other one, which we talked to you guys about when we were at South by, is Project Highwayman, which is our sci-fi horror. Yes. And so the pilot of that is out. You can listen to it on Spotify and YouTube. Mm-hmm. And awesome. That's also on Instagram, just Project Highwayman. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. We definitely will have you all back on to continue exploring the Pooh-verse. Oh, sweet Lord.
Do we have to?
I'm serious. We could totally pick other franchises.
No, it's too late. It's too late now.
You did this to us.
It's too late. So, folks, as always, you can follow me at Frodo_Blackens on Instagram and Threads. FrodoBlackens.com for show dates. Drunk Black History on Friday, November 8th in Brooklyn, New York. Come out, hang out with us, drink with us, all that fun stuff. And then Saturday, November 9th at the Regal on 42nd Street in Times Square, Jess and I will be moderating a panel at the 12th Annual Urban Action Showcase. Come through to that because there's some fun surprises there. You can get tickets for that at mediumpopcorn.com and Medium P Podcast on all social media platforms for your Medium Popcorn needs. And Justin, if people want to follow you as well as support the show financially, what can they do, my brother?
Guys, you can follow me at J Brown Did It on all the social media platforms. But mainly, we need you guys to support this show, and that's on Patreon. Patreon.com/medium popcorn. We have $2, $5, $10, and $15 packages. Our entire backlog goes on the Patreon.
Come see our packages.
We have mini shows. There's content at patreon.com/medium popcorn.
That's right. Y'all, thank you so much for joining us. I know it wasn't the most fun movie, but this is a fun conversation, and we definitely looking forward to having more with you.
Yeah,
Same.
thanks for having us. Appreciate
Peter
it.
Pan, Winnie the Pooh 2,
Pinocchio.
Bambi, they're all coming.
Oh,
They're all coming.
Bambi's crazy. That's
I don't know how Pinocchio's going to kill people, but I think that's going to be a wild one.
Pinocchio.
He's gonna have his own fans.
He's gonna stab people with his nose. That's
yeah. It's gonna be gross. There's gonna be some really gross things that he does with that nose.
I have a feeling that the Pinocchio the Pinocchio story is also going to have something against women.
Oh yeah, I have a feeling these are some problematic movies. Yeah,
you liars.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much, and we will talk to y'all next week, folks.
Thank you, guys.
Peace.
Thanks.